South Carolina's Republican Governor Nikki Haley has vetoed abuse and rape prevention funding. This is brilliant. She says it's a distraction. It's a distraction. Nearly $500,000, we're talking about only $500,000, by the way, was slated to go towards domestic violence and sexual assault prevention, and Nikki Haley defending the veto, saying that rape and sexual assault prevention programs only, quote, distract from the Department of Health's mission, and that sexual assault victims are, quote, only a small portion of South Carolinians who need help.
And that's why there's only a small portion of that money going to it.
It's amazing that any women vote for Nikki Haley. It's really amazing. I'm dumbfounded by it.
If they do, it's because they have no clue what Nikki Haley's doing.
Sexual assault and domestic violence victims already feel completely alone in the world. That's one of the main reasons why so many of them don't come forward, Lewis. And now the consolation from Nikki Haley is, listen, it's only a small portion of people. That's the exact wrong thing to be saying, because that makes the people who are victims feel particularly marginalized. Listen, what happened to you is so rare that the governor is vetoing funding even related to preventing this type of thing because it's a distraction. It's only a small percentage of people. That's really going to make victims of abuse and domestic violence more likely to come forward, isn't it, Lewis?
Right.
Unbelievable. It really is amazing that any women vote for her. And by the way, not to mention the fact that South Carolina ranks 7th in the country for number of women killed by men and has had a rate of sexual violence higher than the national average, not for 10 years, not for 20 years, but for 30 years. Since 1982, always higher than average rates of sexual violence in South Carolina. Maybe being distracted by trying to help abuse and rape victims would be a good thing. It might take attention away from destructive social policy that we're seeing in places like South Carolina from Republican governors like Ms. Nikki Haley.
It never ends with South Carolina. Almost every week we've got some incredibly disturbing story involving South Carolina.
It's unbelievable.